digitaltransformation.tech. How to get hundreds of bloggers to blog about you, and yes, link to you, so that you show up on page 1 of Google and you get a ton of traffic from Google search as well as the bloggers themselves. So we're in Google Search Console or Webmaster Tools, and we're going to show you how to get this result with absolutely none of this result, which in turn produces this kind of page 1 Google rank or position. Here are the requirements. Number 1, you're going to need your own blog. Number 2, you're going to need Google Forms. Number 3, you're going to need to use social engineering for when you pitch the bloggers to try and get into their blog. And number 4, you're going to need a keyboard macro program. Talk to me about this. We have our own keyboard macro program that we custom developed just for this. You can use any, but they don't work as well. Okay, step 1. To contact a bunch of bloggers to get into their blogs and get links from their blogs, you're going to need to have blogger contact information, right? You can do that through Twitter, or you can do that through email. I'm going to show you email in this example because Twitter, it'll get you about 10 to 15 times the results. It'll get you 10 to 15 times more linkage, more coverage, but it's a lot more complicated to explain in the video. So let's just start with email first. So since we know that a link is worth nothing to Google, unless it comes from a relevant website, relevant to your content on your website, we're going to need to do a search for bloggers that are blogging about the same topic your website's about. So let's say you're a dentist. Well, what would you do? Go into Google and do a search for dentist or dental or teeth, space, contact, space, powered by WordPress. Now, let's say you're an engineer or you sell an electronic gadget. Let's say you're a startup, a hardware startup. What would you do? Same thing. Type in Google, gadget, space, electronic, space, contact, space, now in quotes, powered by WordPress. What that'll do is get you a Google result where you drop it directly into the contact page of every single blog powered by WordPress, whether it's hosted or self-hosted, on the topic that your blog is about or that your website's about. Now, when you get your Google search results, you can laboriously click on every single link and look for email addresses from every single website, one at a time, just mousing through and clicking and highlighting and copying and pasting into a spreadsheet. Or you can use an email spider. An email spider is an email extraction automation tool. This thing. We're using free email extractor. You can download this from CNET. It's free. Let's say your business is a SaaS startup. So what you do is, well, you'd look for blogs that blog about SaaS startups, but you want to go directly to their contact page and you want only blogs. So this is what you type in. This is what you type into this application instead of typing it into Google because it searches Google for you. Notice here, that's what it's doing. It's opening and parsing and going through page 1, page 2, page 3 of Google until it gets to page, well, 10 results per page, so until it gets to page 30 of Google. It's looking for email addresses on all the websites that show up under this Google search. And let's see how much it found so far. It found 24, 25, it just found another one, and it's going to find more very quickly. So, now that you have thousands of email addresses of people who own blogs that are actually about your industry, perfect. All you have to do is email them now. But this is the most delicate, touchy point. If your email to them, if your pitch to them is slightly off, you will get 0% response. Not only will you get 0% response, you'll actually get spam flagged. Your entire email address, even your website domain will get spam flagged, so you'll drop right out of Google. And anytime you email someone from your email account, well, you're just going to go into their spam folder. This is how you craft your cold pitch, the first email, so that you end up in bloggers' blogs. This is how you craft your opening email. You lead with, enjoyed your WordPress, in the subject line. Why? Because a compliment has the highest open rate of any type of email subject line. Secondly, you're mentioning WordPress to prove that you know that they have a WordPress website. It establishes relevance. It shows that you actually studied them a little bit. You're not just spamming them. Next, in the body, I'm going to reinforce that I really liked your WordPress blog about Japan. Now, out of the thousands and thousands of email addresses that I got, how would I know that this person has a WordPress blog about Japan? Well, that's because I specifically did a search. My query was Japan powered by WordPress, space, contact. And doing that query returned an email address of N. Volenberg in the email extractor program. Now, I'm going to give you a little context. This particular email was sent out to promote a travel blog about Asia. Now, this is the part that confuses everybody. The very next line needs to be your pitch. I'd love to interview you. And you're sitting there thinking, wait a second, aren't I trying to get my website or my blog in their blog or website? I'm trying to get them to link to me. Why am I offering to interview them in my blog all of a sudden? You remember in the beginning of this video I mentioned that one of the prerequisites was that you have to have your own blog and social engineering. Reverse psychology is going to be necessary. This is where it comes in. Think about it. If you just came right out of the blue, literally out of the blue, and said, hey, I found your food website. I found your food blog. I love your food blog. I have a restaurant. I want you to write about me. Spam. So this is why you're offering to interview them first, without any implication of any quid pro quo or having to return the favor. People treat you the way you treat them. So if you blog about them first, you drastically increase the likelihood that they'll blog about you as well. That's the logic. Now we're looking at an efficiency and conversion rate problem. Although you know for a fact that if you just straight out of the blue said, hey, you have a blog that's related to the topics on my website or about my business, will you interview me? Will you link to me? Will generate a 0% response. Then what kind of percent response do you get if you say you do 100 interviews and you post 100 interviews up featuring these 100 bloggers out of thousands and thousands of email addresses that you found? What's the likelihood that they'll actually return the favor and write about you? It's 23% on average. But let's make it simple and say it's 20%. That means that if you want to get mentioned, if you want to get written up in 100 different blogs, you actually have to do 500 interviews. That's a Korean saying. So how do you manage having to do all those interviews? You automate it and you make it asynchronous. You will never be able to schedule times that match up to hundreds and hundreds of bloggers around the world. It just won't happen. This is where another one of our prerequisites that we mentioned earlier comes into play. We'll show you what it looks like in real life. You tell the blogger directly in email that our interview is online. It's on our website, and give them the URL. Remember, unclickable. This is how bloggers respond. Hello, Peter. Super thanks to you. So happy that you liked and read my blog. Happy to be interviewed. Now that I know that we have a friendly disposition person, I can reply again and send them a direct clickable link. Just go to hackingtravel.com/interview. This is where the prerequisite Google form comes in. When they click on the link, it'll bring them here to the pre-built email questionnaire Google form. I'm going to show you what the responses look like right now. And these are the form results in Google Spreadsheets. Notice how many people actually responded. I'm going to zoom in here. Here we go. Notice how many people actually responded and over what time period. By standardizing your interview questions and just putting it online, it's asynchronous. You don't have to schedule a time to get on Skype or to get in GChat, and the interview's already done. But wait, there's more. By using Google Forms, all the answers will go right into Google Spreadsheets, which means that you can actually automate the blog posting process. You can go straight from Google Spreadsheets to any WordPress blog automatically. You don't have to do any copying and pasting. So the rest is pretty self-explanatory, right? You take the Google Forms spreadsheet data and just import it into WordPress, your WordPress, or whatever blog format you have, or even directly to your website using nice, beautiful CSS. And then you send an email to the interviewee, the person that has the blog that you want to be in, and tell them, hey, here's your interview, it's online, I posted it. By the way, can you do me a favor now? Now this is where finally you have the high conversion right to pitch. Can you do me a favor and write about my website? It's www.sas.com or dentist.com, whatever it is. and then sweeten the pot. Remember, nobody owes you anything. And even if they did owe you something, they're going to try to get away with not giving it to you. So sweeten the pot. Say, hey, if you write about me, what I'll do is I'll blast you out to all my social network. I'll program you into Hootsuite, and I'll blast your interview out twice a week. And I'll pin your interview to the top of my blog. And I'll also link to it myself from my other websites. Really sweeten the pot. So we're in Google Search Console. This result. Now, if you need help with any of this, including writing and automating, the pot sweetened will you return the favor email, sending it out automatically so you don't have to send it out 500 different times, and automating the process of getting the Google Spreadsheets form results into a WordPress blog, let us know. Finally, if you need help with anything else, again, you can reach us at digitaltransformation.tech. That's digitaltransformation.tech. And the next episode, we're actually going to show you how to do the exact same thing in Twitter, which is what's going on here. It's an automated Twitter process that gets people on Twitter to blog about us. And the results are 10 times, a factor of 10, better than through email. Last thing, can you do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button? I'd really appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love a thumbs up. It would make me feel great. The next episode is going to be mind-blowing. It's a marketing automation tutorial, and it's only available to subscribers. You can subscribe at digitaltransformation.tech. It'll show you how to get 500% more conversions than your best competitor.